Now the U.S. black president's election twice reveals the upper hand failing these reactionaries, but also the emerging open terroristic dictatorship of the most reactionary, most chauvinistic, and most imperialist elements of finance capital, as Dimitrov defined fascism. And now we mark our calendars by the open terroristic slaughter by American police of younger and younger peoples from the U.S. geographic oppressed black and brown nations. Just last week in Southern California, police near San Diego gunned down unarmed Alfred Olango, a citizen of Uganda, who was a suspect in no crime, whose own sister had called the police to help him because he wasn't acting like himself. As W.E.B. Du Bois said, America will accept black people on the basis of democracy, or America will cease to exist. So the black national liberation struggle has always been the forefront of anti-imperialism in the United States, as well as cultural revolution, at least. We will be voting to defeat Trump and keep the primary enemy in this time, place, and condition from gaining power. As Mao Zedong said, fight your enemies one at a time. At the same time, we call to build the People's Democratic Workers' Party, and there is no navigation to socialism in the United States that does not go through people's democracy. The banks and the auto industries should have been nationalized as conditions to the bailout, and we must have democratic community control over the police departments in all aspects at all levels. On Easter of this year, I had the great honor to join a United States labor delegation to Dublin and Belfast, Ireland, along with the president of the California State Building and Construction Trades Council, Robbie Hunter, our international president, Kinsey Robinson, the head of the National AFL-CIO Building and Construction Trades Department, Sean McGarvey, and the international president of the Laborers Union, Terry O'Sullivan, to commemorate the 100th anniversary of the Easter Uprising by labor leader James Connolly to demand the liberation and unification of the oppressed Irish nation and the end of English colonialism and imperialism, speaking of the universality and particularity of contradictions. But James Connolly also said, if you remove the English army tomorrow and hoist the green flag over Dublin Castle, unless you set about the organization of the Socialist Republic, your efforts would be in vain. England would still rule you. She would rule you through her capitalists, through her landlords, through her financiers, through the whole array of commercial and individualist institutions she has planted in this country and watered with the tears of our mothers and the blood of our martyrs. So our first internal struggle remains to defeat opportunism and revisionism. And as a dual Irish citizen myself, I do not mind saying that Ireland joined Scotland and London in opposing the English fascist-led anti-immigrant worker Brexit. And I see that the day before yesterday, one of these stinking UKIP Brits got introduced face first to the hardwood floor. On September 11th of 2001, I was working on a roof con tres de mis vecinos mexicanos, with three of my Mexican neighbors on the New Jersey coastline across from Manhattan, New York City, where we could see that morning the smoke pouring across the horizon. And we looked at each other and put our hammers down. And one of them said simply, "Bush." And we picked our hammers back up and went back to work. And this is called a concrete analysis of concrete conditions and class consciousness. But Lenin updated the manifesto call with the onset of imperialism to workers and oppressed peoples and nations of the world unite. So I understand that I am here representing the first of any United States labor union since 1949 to affiliate to the WFTU. We are workers. We will find a way. Death to white supremacy, death to imperialism. All power to the workers. All power to the people. An injury to one is an injury to all. Long live the international working class.
Interviewing Smith Clifford from the United Union of Roofers, Waterproofers and Allied Local 36 on the current South African unrest on students in universities. And this is what he had to say.
Well, I was just thrown out of Rutgers University in New Jersey 25 years ago for protesting against the tuition increases at that time, and so I understand entirely and support entirely the demands of the students for free public higher education. Higher education is a democratic right to all people. It's not a commodity to be bought and sold to people that have money and availability. The steps that the students are taking has been forced upon them by the administrations and people that are in the positions to make these decisions and are trying to take access to education away from the poor and working people, and so we 100% support the students and all of their demands.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Cassia Prulu, Tell the Journalist, Durban.